What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another review edition of Learn Crypto. We have the DigiByte ambassador of New Zealand back with us, Josiah Spackman. What's going on, man?
Good to be back. It's been a while.
It's been a minute. Now, we have done a full, start to finish on DigiByte in the past with Josiah, so go in the interview section and take a look at that if you want to know a lot about DigiByte. But today we're having Josiah back on for a couple reasons. We're going to kind of talk about the progress with Digi Id, progress with Digusign as well, if you can keep us up to date on that, and also your iOS and Android wallet, how those are coming along with the new UI designs. But I know what I am excited about most, and what a lot of people are starting to question is there a possibility of proof of stake coming to DigiByte, the pros and cons of proof of stake, the pros and cons for DigiByte, etc. And a lot of this stems from the fact that you and Jared talked about this recently in one of your live shows, I believe, right?
Yes. So we did a live stream and it was it's well overdue, right? But we caught up. We had a lot of discussion just about everything, really. So one of the things that we talked about was the possibility of staking. Now, I've been a bit of a purist, maybe you could say, for the last however long, and only really been interested in proof of work. To be honest, I don't actually know enough about staking, and I'm okay to admit that, but it's been brought up by members of the community that staking would be potentially a good way to help alleviate some of the concerns that people have around a double spend attack like we've been seeing with certain other coins. So although we have DigiShield and although we have multi-algo, the combination of which basically prevents, you've seen, say, Bitcoin Gold who have DigiShield, but they don't have multi-algo, and then Verge who have multi-algo, but not DigiShield. Both of them are able to be attacked, we've seen. Adding a hybrid, like maybe we add it as a sixth algo, maybe we replace one of our was GPU but is now ASIC mined algos. It's being discussed, and so I guess this is probably where it's cool to be part of a decentralized coin, right? And there's no central kind of official, one single little group of people who determine and decide where this is going to go. So let's say hypothetically I become really, really anti-proof of stake, right? That's not going to happen, but let's say I become, no, we're not going to do proof of stake. It's a terrible idea. DigiByte can still do it, even if I'm completely against it, right? Because as far as I'm concerned, I have just as much say in things as you do or as anybody else who's watching, right? So if it ends up being 999 people against just me going, yeah, let's add proof of stake, then, well, tough shit for me, right? So
yeah, and for me too, on top of the technicals of proof of stake, the fact that it has the possibility to help deter some 51% attacks on the network, it is more energy efficient. I think from a macro perspective, you guys weren't an ICO. You don't have a war chest of funds to find new development on DigiByte, to market DigiByte, which is the biggest thing. Branding and marketing is huge right now in cryptocurrencies since they are so new and a speculative market. I think proof of stake gives that opportunity to DigiByte to incentivize current and new investors to come to your platform. During this bear market, I've seen a lot of people wanting me to do a passive income video where I kind of just talked about master nodes, staking, dividend paying coins like NEO with producing gas or exchange tokens, etc. And I think that's an opportunity for DigiByte to start incentivizing new investors and speculators to take a look at the tech behind your project, to hodl that project, and to kind of earn rewards for verifying the network, etc. And you can be like, hey, do proof of work, and you can do that. And I think some people get scared by the knowledge you have to mine, even though we know once you get into it, it's not all that difficult. And also the upfront hardware cost of that. With proof of stake, instead of somebody spending $4,000 on a miner, they can spend $4,000 on DigiByte, start staking right away in a desktop wallet, or the new Linda wallet, which you guys are integrated with now. We'll talk about that in a second. I think that could be a good opportunity for some quote-unquote free marketing for DigiByte here in the future. I don't know if you have anything else you wanted to talk about with concerns with proof of stake or positives or?
Yeah, so it's the number one thing that we've got to kind of look at here is the security, because if you have, let's say you have a blockchain and it is constantly being double spent on, that's bad. no one's going to want to use you. You're going to be untrustworthy. It's going to be unreliable and things. So even if like, yeah, this is cool. We are like, you know, the fastest 15 seconds, longest blockchain, go us. If people can't trust the validity of the blockchain, it's pointless, right? So the number one thing basically needs to be, does it compromise security or does it increase the security? And if we're looking at staking combined in a hybrid manner with 4 other algorithms, I don't know. I'm not a mathematician, nor am I a cryptographer, unfortunately. I'm just really good at making up nonsense and talking on YouTube videos, right? So, but there are people that I know that are, and those are people who are looking into it. And so maybe there are people in the community who have a bit more of a background in both the mathematics of it or in the cryptography of it that can basically run some numbers even for us, right? Like, and that's the thing, again, because we are so decentralized, this doesn't rely on just one person going, this is happening, we're proof of stake, and or these are the numbers. Anybody can do it. So if there is anybody who is watching that basically is mathematically inclined, that is able to give us some numbers, or specifically even me, yeah, cool. Hey, let's see it. Let's see what happens. But the number 2 thing, I suppose, is the distribution. And so Digibyte is very decentralized when it comes to the number of people that run the full wallet. Now, part of that's obviously been because we've shot ourselves in the foot and we haven't really had a good mobile offering. Part of that's been Apple and the fact that they're Apple, right?
But difficult for cryptocurrencies. Even Vertcoin still gets shot down all the time too.
I know. Poor James. I saw him send a tweet out and I'm like, mate, just don't give up. Like, keep hanging in there. But we were talking like a couple months ago and he seemed kind of resigned to the fact even then that they weren't going to have an iOS wallet, which is a shame because... Yeah.
And some of their lead developers work with MIT on the decentralized currency initiative. So that's like one of the top leading, you know, academic initiatives for cryptocurrencies, and they're still not considered legitimate, which is kind of crazy that,
you know, Apple, right? Like, I feel bad for them, but you know, I like them and I like what they're doing with being GPU friendly. Not a fan of the Lightning Network myself personally, but you know, that's by the by. So I suppose, like, so the number 1 thing is it's got to be secure. The number 2 thing is the distribution. Mm-hmm. So as long as basically we're not making major compromises on those, or if it is improving it, then that's all the better for it. As far as I'm concerned, I think that's fantastic. And even if I'm not specifically 100% on board on it, because as far as I'm concerned, I'm just a normal member of the community. We are decentralized. I don't hold any additional sway. You have just as much right to say, why don't we go proof of stake? Let's do this.
And kind of the argument for vulnerabilities on proof of stake are the fact that if somebody hypothetically had enough money, they could just buy upfront enough staking power to then control the blockchain. But now, since you guys do have the multi-algo proof of work, that kind of goes out the window as well, because not only that, they would have to buy the hashing power on top of that, which, you know, I'm assuming it could be possible. But like you just said, there is such a vast distribution, since you do have such a large community, that I don't really know if that's even feasibly possible. It would be interesting if somebody could sit down and run the mathematics.
Maybe I did run the math on that. That's one of the things. I'm not a whiz, but I know how to work Google Sheets, right? Like,
there you go.
And so I found places online where you can rent the hash power. So the SHA-256 and the scrypt hash power, easy. You can get that from anywhere, basically. But after that, there is the Qubit. We've got Myriad, Grostal, and Skeen. And those are the 3 that are a lot harder to rent. And so of that, one of them is relatively expensive to rent. So if you were going to commit to a double spend, it's going to be bloody expensive for, you know, to rent the hash power for a day. But again, then after that, the Myriad Grostal and the Skeen hash power, I wasn't able to find anywhere that you could even rent 10% of the needed hash power to actually make such an attack. So although I'm not going out there and I'm saying it's infallible, it's flawless and everything like that, the irony is that had we gone and swapped out one of these algorithms previously, like a couple months ago, we would have probably been made it Equihash, for example, maybe CryptoNight. And what was the other one? Lyra2, REV2 was what we were looking at, those 3 in particular. So if we'd gone and swapped those out, we would be a lot more vulnerable than we are now, because we've kind of left these semi-unknown mostly ASIC mined algorithms, right? There's simply not enough hash power out there to do the double spend. Similar to what Litecoin are in that sort of a situation with their Scrypt algorithm, because they are the dominant factor in that particular space. So you can't really attack them with more hash power to do a double spend. I mean, you can take hash power away. That's its own set of interesting fun, like we saw when Bitcoin Cash hard forked and things, but that's maybe a story for another day. So anyway, the fact that Linda Coin are now supporting us, they got in touch with me a couple of weeks back actually, and they said, hey, look, we want you on our wallets. We're supporting staking and we're doing this and that. And I kind of went back to them and I was like, look, I don't mean to shoot you guys down, but we don't actually do staking. We're 100% proof of work at the moment. It's something that we're looking into, but we don't just yet. And they came back and they're like, you know what? That's totally cool. We like what you guys are doing. We want you on board. Let's make this happen. And so put them in touch with some of the other guys. And lo and behold, we get the announcement as well. And yeah, hey, it looks like we're going to be on the Linda Coin wallet. That's awesome.
That's really why even, you know, a light bulb to me, why I reached out to you is I've had an interview with Linda Coin while these were just hypotheticals. You know, it was around 15 Satoshis. This was a month or two ago. A lot of the community members got involved with Linda, and they continue to add all these staking coins. And all of a sudden it pops up yesterday, oh, we're adding DigiByte. And I'm like, wait a second. They don't do staking or master noding. So, and then I looked in a little further and saw you and Jared talk about it a little bit. And I kind of looked at the potential benefits for marketing and utilization and mass adoption that staking could maybe offer to DigiByte. And the light bulb clicked. So obviously nothing is set in stone here, guys. We're bouncing ideas around with DigiByte and proof of stake. If something happens, obviously we don't have any sway here. We're just kind of bouncing the ideas around, getting Josiah's perspective as a very active ambassador of DigiByte, etc.
But that's just it. You do have sway. And so that's the thing. If you do have members of the community, people that are watching this video who are interested, cool, get them to jump on Telegram, get them to say, hey, we're interested in staking, get them to jump on Reddit, get them to send us a tweet at DigiByte Coin or at DGB Chilling, and let us know, right? Like, that's the thing, is they do have sway, and I suppose the more people that are on board with this kind of thing, the better it's going to be. We're going to have a little bit more certainty around the people that are going to be involved with it, and it's generally an overall good thing for everybody if they do come along and say, hey, yeah, let's do some staking, So I don't know. It might happen. It might not happen. We might still stay proof of work. We might swap out some of the algorithms for other proof of work algos. But it's been very cool with the Linda Coin guys. They're a great bunch, and so it's awesome to see what's been happening as well with your coin and how it's been taking off. And yeah,
that's pretty sweet. Well, there you go, guys. If you are interested in adding staking to DigiByte, I know a lot of people are interested in passive income. I know the DigiByte community is massive, and you guys probably want to get rewarded for supporting DigiByte through this bear market, etc. Let them know. Come at them with some factual information. Maybe run the numbers. Give them reasons to want to add staking to the network. I know, in my opinion, looking at it, I think you guys should keep the 5 algo. That is kind of your bread and butter, and you should add staking on the side to become a hybrid coin, and maybe swap out one of your proof of work algos to something that might be a little more miner and profitability friendly. So that might get some more interest, extra hash power from the miners. Also, then you'll be getting more interest from investors who like staking. And then maybe DigiByte can really become where it belongs in the coin market cap, a little bit higher. I think this is a very undervalued UTXO, especially with all the advancements you guys are making, which I want you to talk about. I want you to talk a little bit about, you know, how Digi Id is going, how Digisign is going. I know Jared also made a comment that you can actually like build dApps on top of the DigiByte blockchain, etc. Yeah. And I think a lot of that gets taken for granted with DigiByte, that it's not just a peer-to-peer transactional currency like that of Bitcoin and Litecoin, but that you guys are constantly improving and not showing complacency here in the crypto economy.
Yeah, and so that's one of the interesting things. I was talking with a gentleman the other day, and he basically sort of said, what is it that you do with DigiByte? Like, what's DigiByte's focus? I said, well, the focus is basically making this really, really cool blockchain, and then you do whatever the hell you want with it, right? Like, why should we, I mean, yes, we're great at payments and we're great at remittance. Super, super fast, and we've got the scaling in place that's already been happening and will continue to happen, that we've actually done real-world tests on, so we're not going to have the whole, yeah, we can do 3,000 transactions a second, but we can only actually do 100. It's actually been tested, so yeah, that's cool. But in addition to this, we're also about security. And so things like with Digi Id, we've actually just recently announced that we've had a company build a WHMCS plugin. So if you use WHMCS, which is an online suite that a lot of like hosting providers and ISPs specifically use for selling their products. It's kind of like the web control panel portal. You can do ticketing and things through it. And so now you can use Digi Id anywhere that WHMCS is supported. And so this particular company, check them out, WHMCSnow.com. They've got the website, and you can, if you are a customer of theirs, they make other plugins and things. You can use Digi Id there on their website too as a bit of a demo. So it's cool. We've been actually talking with a few other bits and places. I can't obviously go too much into it, but we're talking with places about using it in a physical sense rather than just signing into a website. Like, it's cool if you take your cell phone and you sign into a website, and it's nice, it's fast, it's better than two-factor authentication through SMS or email. But wouldn't it be cool if you could, like, go to your, let's say you live in an apartment, rather than having to swipe a card, you can scan your phone. So things like that, which are going to be a lot more convenient, because then you've only got to carry your phone on you. It's going to be a lot more secure. It's going to be fast as well. So yeah, we're looking to real world applications for it, which I suppose is what we were also doing with Venezuela.
Yeah.
And the whole kind of, the cryptocurrency over there and helping people out. So yeah, we're definitely not going to try and pigeonhole ourselves just to do remittance, although we can do it really well. But like you mentioned, Digi Id and stuff like that's been pretty cool. So we're hoping that with the release of these wallets, the Android wallet, I believe, is just waiting for a couple more translation strings, and then that's going to be released. Have you seen the new look and feel come out on iOS? Because you're in test flight, right?
Yeah, I have not updated to the most recent test flight. I have not done it yet. Now, if you guys do want kind of an inside look on the DigiByte iOS wallet, I do have a video over on the YouTube channel. We did that when you guys were first in your first beta version of that. So kind of probably the user interface might look a little different, but I'm sure that a lot of the concepts and the utilization of the wallet itself is still the same. So if you guys need a little help, make sure to watch that video as well.
You're going to need to redo it now with the new look and feel, because it looks nothing like that, man. So it's going to be...
There we go.
Yeah, it's cool. It looks really good. Like, it looks really slick. It's unique. It's different, because obviously it was originally based on Bread, which is now, I think they are BRD token or something like that. They've gone and tokenized things, and it's really interesting. But they've certainly gone in a very different direction. And so we've taken some of the code base and tidied it up like you would not believe. Fixed up a ton of the crashes and things, and especially on Android now, we support all the way back to Android 4.2. So I think we have something like 98% of the whole entire world basically supported now by the time we get the iOS release out, and now we're supporting back so far with it. So it's been, oh man, it's been crazy, but it's good fun, and it's like you say, we've been working pretty hard and non-stop, I suppose, as well. So yeah,
I just think the biggest thing is, for people to really look into Digibyte and all your side projects that you work on, you even do Digusign as well, remittance, etc. And for those of you who don't know what Digi Id is, based on what he was saying, essentially it's like a replacement for 2FA. And the reason it's more secure is because you actually have to use your passphrase, your fingerprint, whatever, to log into the mobile Digibyte wallet. And then from there, you can scan your phone to log into various websites, etc. And the reason that it could be useful for, say, apartment complexes and things like that is if somebody steals your car, they can get into your apartment complex. But if somebody steals your phone, they also need to have your fingerprint or your wallet passphrase to then access your access card through Digi Id to get in your apartment. So there's multiple steps there. Plus, you yourself are carrying less stuff. You don't have to worry about a key, etc. You just have your mobile phone and you are good to go. So that's kind of what I see Digi Id moving forward, and that's why I think it's interesting.
Well, and it uses the same cryptographic security that we use in the blockchain. So it's interesting because people kind of say, oh, yeah, but you've got to, it's just a thumbprint or it's just a fingerprint or a PIN to get into the wallet, right? And then from there, they can authenticate as you. Yeah, but that's the fact is they've got to have your cell phone. Your cell phone's got to be unlocked potentially with a PIN number, then a different PIN number to get into the wallet if that's what you want, or you can use a thumbprint, fingerprint specifically. But this is the same cryptographic security that keeps Bitcoin safe, right? So if I know that Nick has 1 Bitcoin in a wallet, I can't go and spend that money because it is kept cryptographically secure by the fact that he's the only one with access to his private keys. Now we trust millions and millions, well, actually, what's the market cap, like $600 billion? We trust $600 billion with this, but we're not going to trust, signing into a website with it.
Yeah.
It doesn't really make sense. So yeah, the cryptography is there. The great part is it doesn't actually hit the blockchain. So it just uses the exact same private keys, and we sign a message which goes and gets sent over the internet, but it doesn't get saved to the blockchain. So you don't even actually need to have DigiByte in your wallet for Digi Id to work. So the amount of people that could use it are potentially endless, right? It's great, and it's not going to cost them. The wallets are going to be free. We're never going to charge people for being a merchant and accepting it or anything at all like that. So it is basically just a gift from the DigiByte Foundation, effectively back to the world, the community, to people. So I'm really looking forward to seeing more of what comes out in 2018, 2019 in terms of security and in terms of other alternative uses for the blockchain aside from just you and me paying each other or speculating on the market, which is cool. Don't get me wrong. Everybody likes to get rich.
Yeah.
I would love to be rich one day. I'm a broke ass right now, but
Market cycles, hang in there and, get the passive income. Maybe DigiByte comes staking, and I know you mine it directly to your staking wallet, and then you start staking it. There you go. You start compounding that DigiByte. And
exactly.
Then once DigiByte continues to get more payment solutions, merchant solutions, there you go. Now that kind of leads me, we've talked about proof of stake, Digi ID, remittance, etc. Well, let's go back to the main feature that people think you have, and that is as a payment solution. Are there any new payment channels, new merchants, new exchanges on the horizon?
Yeah, so one of the things that we've been looking at is ways we can better document it to help people, to allow people to basically be a merchant website and to integrate it with their point of sale solution or something along those lines. I've even personally rung up a local vendor sort of thing for FPOS solutions that do FPOS and credit card payments. And I've said, look, you've got your little screen. I want to be able to basically just pay with DigiByte by scanning a QR code on the screen. So, I mean, who knows what's going to happen there? These are big, monolithic companies that are just they take ages to get back to you and things. But I've put it out there. And that's the great thing is anybody can go and approach somebody else and say, hey, look, what we'd like is to support DigiByte through this particular payment process or something like that. So, but what we're specifically working on at the moment is ways that we can better support the community and better have it documented. Also, same for, you mentioned with the smart contracts and things like that. We have the script language already there. Sure, it's not Turing complete like Ethereum, but there's enough in there for you to do colored coins, for you to run an ICO if you wanted, for you to do all these different kind of contracts and things like that. So there's a lot of functionality in there. And yeah, we're basically, we need to make the tools to enable people better access to it right now, because we've got basic documentation, but to be able to, like you say, to get mass adoption, to get more people involved, it's going to need to be easier. Yeah, I think that's probably a good place to leave that.
Well, that's really all the topics I wanted to cover. Really, the biggest reason, like I said, I wanted to get on here is I noticed you guys were getting integrated into that staking and Masternode wallet for Linda, and the light bulb went off for me that, whoa, is DigiByte maybe looking into staking? And I think that could be pretty big, has some benefits to your guys' blockchain, benefits to your current investors, and I think it could be a really good draw to some new investors as well.
All right, I'll make sure to let the developers know. Nick says we've got to do staking.
That's just my fundamental opinion here. I try to help out the projects I like. I'm just letting you know what I am seeing as an opportunity for you guys, especially with being integrated with Linda. And if that wallet kicks off on June 30th, I believe, working all well, then maybe you guys can do some testing on your end. And I think you'll make a lot of DigiByte investors pretty happy. Obviously, we'll see how this video goes over. We'll see if the DigiByte community comes out and expresses the same opinion and thoughts as me, or if they're more on your side that you guys need to stick with the proof of work only. Now, remember, guys, I'm not saying get rid of the 5 algos. I love the 5 algos. That is part of what makes DigiByte unique and a harder target for a 51% attack. But I think the opportunity to also add a sixth algo in proof of stake and become a hybrid cryptocurrency especially with current market conditions, I think could be very beneficial for DigiByte as a whole. That's about all I got. You got anything, any last words before I sign it out here?
Yeah, I mean, I guess if people want to leave a comment below and let us know, are you interested in staking? Is it more, would you prefer proof of work only? Do you like the idea of the hybrid solution? If we did swap out one of the proof of work algorithms for a different proof of work algorithm, are there any, we've had some people mention X16R and other sort of things as well. So I'll check up on this video. Yeah, we'll keep an eye on it. I'll hang out in the comments as well. Maybe we can get some good dialogue going, and yeah.
Perfect. We'll try to spread it on Twitter and do the thing there, and hopefully get some of the community over here giving their insight. That is about it, guys. So make sure to hit that like, share, and subscribe button so we can get more opinions on the future of DigiByte, because according to Josiah, we all have a voice with this truly decentralized cryptocurrency. One reason that I've supported this community all along. And until next time, stay tuned for your daily updates on cryptocurrencies right here at Learn Crypto.